Hey, this is Joel Oney at J Money in the heart of the Buckeye State, and I want to personally welcome you to today's episode of the Steel Kings podcast with my good friends Jared Ledford and Eric Olson, better known as the Steel Kings. Be sure to check out jmoneyllc.com for financing solutions for your buildings. And now let's get back to the Steel Kings podcast.
Yeah, we've come a long way. What I'll tell you, dude, is I am beyond excited. I am Jared Ledford. It is time to get motivated about your business. It's time for some personal development. It's time to get out and shake and howdy with people. I can tell you, man, the Steel Kings are. Dude, we have been busy.
What one thing, I mean, if I could say one statement about the Shed Show is that people need direct help from on-market questions.
I'm Jared. He's Eric. We are the Get out in your communities, everybody, and do something good for somebody else. It'll make you feel better. Well, howdy. Welcome back to another episode of the Steel Kings podcast. I am Jared, and I am super excited for today's episode. We have been rolling through just a great cast list from the last few weeks, focusing on the NFBA Trade Expo at the end of February. And man, do I ever have some exciting guests today. You guys hear me talk about 3D configurators and different partners, but Idea Room has really been a huge proponent of what we've done here on the Steel Kings podcast over the last year. And we talked to Dan a few months ago about some of the exciting things that Idea Room's doing. If you haven't checked those episodes out, go back in the archives and check those episodes out. But I can tell you, we are here today to talk specifically to everyone in the post frame industry about something that Idea Room has been doing now for some time. And we'll get into more of a timeline on that here in a bit. But this is a solution for all of you users of SmartBuild. So if you're utilizing SmartBuild right now, which I know a lot of our friends and partners are utilizing SmartBuild, this is going to take SmartBuild to the next level. This is taking, and you guys know, I'm a huge passion for lead gen. So lead gen is something that I've worked on here, Dayton Barnes and Five Rivers now for years and years, and trying to focus on what really works the best to get the correct leads that convert to sales. I have been a huge advocate for Idea Room for the last 6 or 7 years now. Dan, ironically enough, sold us our Idea Room years ago, and we have been huge, high-level users of Idea Room, bringing in 3D designs through our website, through dedicated marketing, through Meta and Google and different things, but utilizing those 3D designs to really take what a customer's vision for their project is and taking it to the next level through the sales process. It is just beyond exciting for me to have Dan and Norma on from Idea Room. I'm going to go ahead and bring them in the studio now. Dan, Norma, welcome to the Steel Kings podcast. What's going on?
Thanks, Jared. Glad you have us back. Yeah. And kind of ready to go deep on the SmartBuild partnership. And I brought the expert, Norma. She's the one working on it as our product manager. And she should probably do a longer introduction because you already know me. So
yeah. So you guys know Dan. Dan's the CEO and co-founder of Idea Room. Obviously, if you guys are in steel buildings or sheds, you're well aware of who Idea Room is. I think this conversation, with it being NFBA related and trade show related, we're both going to be there. Idea Room and the Steel Kings are both going to be there at the trade show. So if you see anything that you want to get more information on, definitely check that out. In the meantime, check out our friends at J Money, Defined SEO, Velocity 360, Cal, and obviously Idea Room. Norma, welcome to Steel Kings podcast. Tell us a little bit about what you do. You're the Idea Room product manager, and you're working specifically on this SmartBuild integration. So welcome to the podcast.
Correct, Jared. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a pleasure. So I am the one of Idea Room's product managers, and the last year I've been solely focused on the SmartBuild integration and anything that we could put and enhance in our product that improves that experience with the integration, just so we can dominate it.
Yeah. So the idea here is that for those of you that are using SmartBuild, you might be familiar with SmartBuild's eModeler, which is kind of their customer-facing version of their build tool. And some of you may have that as a plugin on your website already. Some of you might be utilizing that to create some sort of lead gen. The idea here was that Idea Room's process is just better, right? I mean, let's just be real about it. It's just better, right, Dan? I mean, you don't mind me saying that.
Well, we talked about it last time. Mobile is really important. And that's kind of the genesis of the partnership, that, you know, they really wanted to find someone that could do the mobile experience, kind of the B2C experience, a lot simpler and easier to use for your average post-frame buyer to kind of design their building really nicely. So yeah, huge upgrade from that experience. And that's why we're working together.
Yeah, so for a personal perspective at Dayton Barnes, our web traffic is about 82% mobile. So people that come to our website are visiting 82% of the time they're on a mobile device. So anything that uses a mobile browser version of what we see on our website. So our website is really built and driven to drive traffic through a mobile environment. And what works really well for us with Idea Room is that 3D configurator works as well, if not almost better, in a mobile environment. It's built for that mobile environment. So I want to stress to you guys, if you guys want to see it work in real progress right now, DaytonBarnes.com, FiveRiversPoleBarns.com, click on Design in 3D, and you can check out what the Idea Room Builder looks like from a practical standpoint on your smartphone. But in the meantime, Norma's going to do a demo for us today, which I'm really excited about. Is there anything specifically that a SmartBuild customer needs to do other than contact you? There's not anything they need to do on their end other than reach out to you guys, right? It's ready to plug and play right away.
Yeah, absolutely. For folks, right, that already have an integration with SmartBuild, it's just contact us. It automates self-serve. So once they get the integration subscription updated, they could start and get going. Awesome. If you don't have a subscription, obviously from SmartBuild, then you would start there first, and then we connect the two together.
Awesome. Yeah, if you're not using SmartBuild and you're selling pole barns or in your post frame space, reach out to your supplier. Chances are they probably have some sort of SmartBuild integration available to you. We're going to talk to SmartBuild and probably have Dan back on with SmartBuild in the future as well to talk more about this integration. But today I want to show you specifically for those of you that have SmartBuild, what you guys can do with the Idea Room integration. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do a screen share on the studio today. So for those of you listening along, we're going to do our best to describe. But number one, right off the rip, for those of you that are seeing this for the first time, it looks phenomenally better, not just on the web browser, which we're looking at here, but certainly looks better on the mobile as well. Just from a visibility type of quality. That's one thing that I've always been really impressed with Idea Room is that the quality of the 3D design looks like it's real. So there's 3D augmentation features as well. You can put these buildings on people's properties. I'd be happy to do demos with you of that on a larger scale. I've used that to sell buildings. I don't know how many times where I've gone out to the customer's property and actually put the building where they wanted it. And that's just like an unreal thing when you can take a picture of a 3D mock-up in somebody's yard and they're like, oh, that's exactly what it's going to look like. And sure enough, boom, it looks like that when it's built. So Norma, tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here. We're looking at a web browser window with what looks like a pole building.
Correct, Jared. So this is a 3D configurator test site, right, that I use for demos. But it is specifically set up for the post-frame pole barn industry. Okay. So we're going to go, and right now we're just looking at a classic building with a simple door, small, right? But I'm going to walk you through, and can I start on the demo now, Jared? Or
oh yeah, go right ahead, Norma.
Okay.
You just take the lead and you let us know. We're looking at a 26 by 34 by 10 fully enclosed building with a walk-in door currently.
Yep, correct. Currently, so I'm going to walk you through through the 3D configurator, the end consumer experience. Right? Let's say somebody comes in to the website for one of our customers, and they go through. They can navigate the default. We have different styles pre-configured. So if they wanted to go look at a farm, right? So now I'm going to select a farm, and a farm displays with some default doors, windows to kind of help the customer and the end consumer jumpstart and get some ideas on some of the basic or foundational buildings, right?
This is what I really like about the Idea Room configurator here. You can build your own styles and save your own styles and links. But what Norma has just done with the click of one button from a customer's perspective is she's gone from that classic fully enclosed building with one walk-in door. Now I'm looking at bail windows. I'm looking at sliders. I'm looking at multiple windows. I'm looking at a nicer door. I'm looking at a custom roof line with with the custom openings at the top and the cupolas. So we've taken this building from basic to premium high-end farm building in one click of a button. And that makes it so easy from a customer's perspective of, well, I don't know how to add bail windows. I don't know how to add sliders. I don't know how to add cupolas. We've already done that for you, right? With one click. So. Yeah,
absolutely, Jared. And also, right, it's a good way to highlight certain features, components, or that the customers want to highlight and show front and center to the end consumer. So as Jared mentioned, right, I'm going to click back to the classic. We could start and design that farm building that we just saw from scratch here, right, by going and selecting, right, the different, changing the size, the color, etc. We're not going to do that right now, but you could get to that building from the classic, right? So we're here to talk about the SmartBuild integration, right? So I'm going to choose now the wraparound, which is a pretty complex building, right? With the complete wraparound lean. It's, what size is it? 42 by 34, 11-foot height and 7-foot height on the leans. And
so this is your typical, I want a barndominium. For those of you that listened to the Mrs. Post Frame episode, we talked a little bit about barndominiums and how those work. This is your typical I want a barndominium project. This is a entry door on the eave side of the building. It's got a hip roof in the front, so it's got an additional gable in the front with a wraparound lean-to on the other three sides of the building. And all of this, again, was one click of a button. Norma's gotten this in one click. It's just so clean what it looks like and how quick it works. I think I want to stress that for those of you that are using an eModeler or another 3D software, the smoothness and the quickness, this isn't just because of Idea Room's demo. And again, that's why I say go to my website, fiveriverspolebarns.com or Dayton Barnes. You can utilize our tool, check it out, demo it yourselves. This is not just because Idea Room's here doing a demo. This thing is this fast all the time. It works great. I just want to stress that to you guys because I know that's been one of the things that have come up before to me, Norm, is, well, it always looks good when you're doing it, Jared, but when I'm doing it, it looks slow. And I'm like, well, you're not using Idea Room, right? That's the whole point. So go ahead, Norma.
Okay. All right. So again, on the end consumer, I built this, selected the wraparound. Looks great. Now I want to submit it for quote. So I'm going to go and select the submit for quote button and put in my information. So I'm just going to put Test Steel Kings as our contact info. So now with the click of a button, for those users, I selected the submit for quote. A form came up that asked for your contact info, right? We need to know zip code and delivery address so SmartBuild can know where it's going to be delivered and know what taxes and the correct pricing, right? So we need to collect that minimum information. So now I've filled out that information, and now I'm going to submit for quote. And as soon as I submit for quote, a job is going to be created over in the SmartBuild platform. And then we will go to that platform here in a sec. And I think actually the job gets created before this gets processed. So let's go look. Now I'm going to go to to SmartBuild's application.
So in the meantime, I want to stress to you guys, you've just accomplished one very valuable feat. You've given the customer access to design their own building. But what you guys don't think about is you've just collected all the customer's data. So everything that you need for that customer, first and last name, address, city, state, zip code, there's a notes field. I do know that some of the higher integrations do allow for some custom fields as well. There's also a feature where you can, if the customer is inactive for 30 seconds, a minute and a half, there's a custom lead gen tool that SmartBuild, or that Idea Room has built in with this SmartBuild integration to where they can collect the data. So let's say a customer was on their 3D configurator and they were working to do a design and they got busy. Let's say they got pulled away from the screen. Idea Room can send a message to that consumer and say, hey, are you still interested in a building? Here's some quick information. They'll get you quick data sets as well. I think that that's one thing that really gets missed here, and I can't stress this enough. We do not do a good enough job of getting our customers information as an industry as a whole. I'm guilty of it. I know that everybody listening to this is guilty of it at one time or another. When a customer is knocking at our door, our job needs to be collectively to get that handshake, right? Put that hand right out and get all that information. Idea Room does such a good job of that because it's just a built-in process. As they design the building, they hit submit for quote. All of that information populates automatically. You don't have to do any additional steps. It's simply one screen. They autofill. So if your customer has autofill settings on their browser windows, it'll automatically fill their first and last names, their address. They don't really have to do much. And again, this goes back to the mobile-friendly environment, right? There are 3D configurators out there that don't do these things the right way. So I would stress to you, at minimum, if you're using a 3D configurator in the shed space, the steel building space, and frame, it's certainly worth a phone call to Idea Room to get an evaluation done on what you're doing. So Norma is going to show us here how the process from Idea Room to SmartBuild took place.
Yeah, so now we're in SmartBuild's application, and we can see that there is an order created that from me submitting the quote, right? The Norma Test Steel Kings. So now if I click on the edit button, I can go in and review and see what I get from the SmartBuild application. And it's loading.
So we all know, all of us SmartBuild users know, we might as well just wait a few minutes, about 30 seconds. It's no different than if you were loading up a normal SmartBuild configuration. Okay. What I can tell you is from somebody who's been using this now for about 3 months, it works really, really well. Really, really well when you think about all the moving components. So what we've got now inside of this SmartBuild window is exactly what we were looking at. We're looking at the hip roof. We're looking at the wraparound lean-to on 3 sides. Same exact configuration that we had, except for now we've pulled in components and different things specifically to SmartBuild. So if you're working with one of our partners like Graber or Burroughs, and you're utilizing them as a supplier, you can utilize Idea Room to do these 3D configurations. And let me just give you a hint. Let's just say, well, I'm not really worried about customer interactions. I'm really more worried about my team. Let me tell you something. Okay. This is where this thing really takes off for me, because now I have a team that can design pole barns in 2 minutes instead of 25 minutes. And I don't have to have them all, buttoned up with waiting to get these configurations done. I have a guy who works my SmartBuild, and I've got a team of guys who lead gen for me up front on pole barn leads. So if you guys are trying to figure out a way to scale, this is another way to scale. This gives you another opportunity to really design these things in a lot more at one time. Is that fair? I mean, Dan, pop in there. I know you're smiling and nodding along. That's what this is designed for, right? I mean, this is the whole idea, is to make this easier.
Yeah, just to build on what you've been saying, there's kind of 2 sides of the equation, right? There's the marketing and lead gen benefit. And you kind of saw the difference between the Idea Room experience and SmartBuild, which is we focus on really nice visuals, loads really fast, smooth animation, things like that. That for the consumer, when they land there, you just want it to be simple, nice, easy, and look great, right? And so we look a lot at that conversion rate. So how many folks land there, how many can get through kind of a simple design process, and then how many leads we generate. And at least for the earliest folks that adopted this for integration with SmartBuild, that's what they were looking for. They wanted more conversions, and they're tracking their entire marketing pipeline and kind of those analytics. But there's also the sales efficiency, right? For your salespeople that are working with customers, Idea Room is a really fast, simple place to start with kind of those template designs and get a building into SmartBuild. And then, yeah, it's a little bit slower in terms of rendering, but that's because they're going the entire bill of materials and all of the details rendering down to like the screws. And so from that perspective, you kind of get started faster, either because the consumer already submitted and it lands in your inbox and you can pick it up from there as a salesperson, or because we just have a really fast and simple way to kind of start with the building design, then pick it up in SmartBuild and refine the details. So yeah, you're either looking at, I want more and higher quality leads, or I want my sales process to be really fast and efficient. And yeah, those sales guys love it when they see this.
This to me is like, okay, I had this really, really beautiful, I had like a beautiful car, right? SmartBuild is this beautiful car and it worked great. Drives like a top, everything's fine with it. I strapped a turbo onto it. Idea Room's the turbo on to SmartBuild. I mean, it is the premium gasoline in the turbo that just got put onto your SmartBuild. If you like using SmartBuild, which I can tell you, we would be lost without it, quite frankly. We love SmartBuild just as much as we love Idea Room. But I can tell you, who doesn't like a turbo and some premium gas in their really nice car? You know what I'm saying? Like that to me is where I'm at with it right now, because I think about where I was a year ago when we started this. So you guys have listened to us come along this process. You've watched the journey of us starting a pole barn company from really scratch. You've listened to us do this whole journey. And one of the things I was reaching out to Dan before I even knew this was a thing. Before I knew SmartBuild and Idea Room were even working together. And I'm like, what can I do to overcome this? And he said, just be patient. It's coming. Just be patient. It's coming. And sure enough, here we are, less than a year later from that discussion. And I can't imagine what will be a year from now. Right. Norma, show us what you've got on this SmartBuild integration. I'm still blown away that we're here, but show us.
Yeah. So I did want to highlight as well, Jared, that right, for those listening that don't have SmartBuild integration, this is what here, I'll show some examples of what you get, right? So we have this integration connects our Idea Room interactive 3D configurator, right, with SmartBuild's, advanced building, contracting, material list, cut sheets, etc. Right. So I wanted to show some of the end results, right? The material list. You get a list of every single, down to the bag of concrete, down to the screw, down to the nails. So obviously your pricing, right, it will be less waste, more accurate pricing, etc. And then some assembly sheets, right? So you can drawings where you can know where things go. We know with marked with legends and letters to kind of get you some assembly drawings for your installers. And then lastly is just a cut list, right? Of how many 2x4s need to be cut at 9 feet, et cetera, right? So super precise down to the nuts and bolts of a building. Super powerful together, like Jared said, turbo.
Yeah, I really think, I can't stress enough that it's the turbo strapped onto a really beautiful car that runs and drives on its own and does its own thing. I can tell you from my perspective and point of view, it is definitely where you want to be. Mm-hmm. All right. So we're still looking at the building in the reference of, we're back to SmartBuild. We've looked at the build sheets. We've looked at the cut list. We've looked at all the benefits. And if you don't have SmartBuild, reach out to the guys at SmartBuild. Again, we're all going to be at the NFBA Trade Expo at the end of February in Oklahoma City. If you guys haven't secured your tickets for that yet, please let me know. Reach out to me. I might be able to help you out if it comes down to getting tickets or something like that. We want you to be there. Okay, I can tell you, I've had so many people reach out to me over the last couple of weeks since we've started the series and said, Oklahoma City's really far away. I know. Where Dan's coming from Idaho. Dan and Norma coming from Norma. Where are you at?
I'm in Boise, Idaho.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're coming from Boise. I'm coming from Dayton. So we're coming a long way to Oklahoma City. We want you guys to come be a part of the NFBA trade show, February the 25th, the 26th, and the 27th in Oklahoma City. We can demo this on site. We can show you what's what when it comes to Idea Room and SmartBuild as a team. But when you utilize Idea Room to lead gen into SmartBuild, it leads to sales. I mean, I am a huge proponent of that. Matter of fact, we've sold 4 post frame buildings this month using this process. What?
Okay, now we're going to jump to kind of pull the curtains back and behind the scenes of how does this know where to put the leans, the doors, what doors, etc. So the mapping integration part of it behind the scenes. So now we're going to go to our sales view dashboards where the product catalog data, any integration data. This is where we do all of our implementations, and customers can view their leads. So this is kind of the backbone of the 3D configurator. So here is the SmartBuild mapping component of it, right? So we have colors, and obviously we implement and set up similar colors in Idea Room. And on this side, we pull through the API the colors from SmartBuild. And if they match, right, we could do an auto mapping to kind of speed things up. If some things don't match, then you have to do a manual update. But for the most part, this process takes about five minutes, maybe at most, right? Because then you could go into your cupolas, map those as well. Your walking doors, basically, right? Everything, your roofs, trusses. So once this is done, this is the magic that says, I'm going to go back to the Idea Room configurator that knows we have a door here, a window there, what type of truss. So, and obviously there's also some custom code under the hood that automatically maps like a lean, etc. We don't have to map those bigger components, but the like doors, windows, truss, etc. That's how it knows it's mapped, and then it goes and creates that beautiful building in SmartBuild.
Yeah, Jared, let me hop in here because we talked about this a little bit last time. We talked about how we've gone down to 2 to 4 week implementations, but also with SmartBuild, if they're a customer coming to us, their data is already in shape. And Norma just talked about 5 minutes for adding the integration and setting up the mapping. This is kind of where we're ultimately at, and then continue heading, which is you can set it up yourself and you can maintain it over time. So this is kind of a peek into the back end that we haven't shown as much, but there's just more and more going in here for people to implement, set up, and maintain themselves. So you're not as dependent on us. And if you need to make changes and updates, you can do it directly. So it's really one of the most powerful things we've done recently, kind of starting with SmartBuild, because it's just so powerful to get this stuff mapped well, and you can just maintain it yourself.
And what I can tell you too, if you're sitting and you're watching this or you're listening, if you are already working with a supplier, Graber, Morton, Burroughs, any of the major players out there that are using SmartBuild, chances are there's already some sort of implementation or build. You're not going to have to necessarily work on nuts and bolts. What I can tell you is when I did my implementation, it took them about 2.5 weeks from start to finish. And I can tell you, I missed a couple of those appointments. That was partially on me. I think they would have had it done quicker, to be fair. I can tell you, I did nothing other than sign up, give them access to some credentials on SmartBuild, and sat back. And 2.5 weeks later, I was up and running. I didn't have to care about anything. They took care of everything for me from start to finish. What I think we're getting into here a little bit is we're getting into custom implementations. If you're using SmartBuild on your own, where you have your own configurations with SmartBuild and you're not using a supplier, that's great too. And we can do all of that work with Idea Room and make it sing and dance exactly how you want it to. But I can tell you, if you are working with Graber or Burroughs or one of the main suppliers in the United States and you have access to SmartBuild, you are missing the boat if you don't sign up for this. I'm just telling you right now. This is the number one tool that you need to be carrying in your arsenal these days. This will lead to quantifiable real sales in real time. It's not expensive. I'm not going to break down the pricing, but I can tell you it's less than one building. If you closed one building with this tool a month, you would more than pay for it 10 times over, probably, to be honest with you. It is something that you absolutely should have on your website at minimum. I can work with you. The guys at Defined SEO can work with you. We are working with Idea Room to implement strategies specifically to close building sales. That's what we want. We want our partners in the industry to work together. A rising tide raises all ships. You guys hear me talk about this all the time. We should be utilizing the tools that give our customers the absolute best process possible. And the best process possible right now from a post-frame reality, if you are working with Graber, Burroughs, any of the major suppliers, is to have Idea Room Configurator on your website, in your advertising, working for you in the background, collecting customer data, and giving your team or maybe yourself every opportunity to sell that building. I think that about sums it up, right, Dan? I mean, I don't know that it's any better than that. I mean,
yeah, and you pointed something out important, which is if you want to come to Idea Room and you are already working with a supplier that works with us, it's very easy to get set up on what we call a dealer or builder subscription. Get your own logo on there, get a URL on your website, your own branding. Because, yeah, from a marketing perspective, you want to be representing your brand. You want to be kind of controlling that marketing pipeline and lead generation. And, yeah, it's all about capturing those leads so you can connect with customers and sell them a building.
It's so nice because what you see now, Norma, can you show us the Idea Room Configurator one more time?
Absolutely.
So she's going to bring up the Idea Room Configurator. So in the top left corner, for those of you that are listening, and if you're watching, if you're listening with me as well, you can put your logo front and center. So again, FiveRiversPoleBarns.com to see our custom Idea Room Configurator. You can change these things in real time. You can change the colors. If you're really brand specific like I am, there are so many custom tools and features inside of your Idea Room backend that when you start working with your Idea Room setup, your project lead and everything, they will work with you on this. And you can plug it right in and it'll work great. And you can plug it into your CRM. You can get your leads coming in. It's just a great tool, a great solution. And Norma, go back to where you were. Show us anything you want. I think we're at that point now where,
yeah,
we want to start wrapping up a little bit, but we also, again, I want to stress to you guys, Norma, Dan, myself, we will all be at the NFBA trade show at the end of February, the 25th, the 26th, and the 27th in Oklahoma City. Very willing to show you guys what we're talking about in real time. I'll be there with Defined as well as the Steel Kings. Dan and I will have some exciting stuff to talk about, I'm sure. But at the same time, we definitely want to invite you guys to the Idea Room booth on the trade show floor to see this thing work in real time. Norma, we're currently back to the Idea Room SmartBuild configurator setup. So we're showing those of you who want to get a full-blown start to finish Idea Room setup. We're back to that screen.
Yeah, thanks, Jared. So now I actually want to highlight a feature that we released last week. And as I mentioned earlier to you, Jared, we're continually working on enhancing, adding features to make this SmartBuild partnership just blow people's minds off, right? So awesome. I want to show you this new feature that we released last week. And we're going to go to the Sales tab in Sales View. And one thing I don't know we've mentioned earlier, but when you submit a design or save or within the Idea Room configurator, it doesn't just create a job in SmartBuild. It also adds a lead in the Sales View dashboard that our customers can also manage through here, right? So now there's two. There's a lead in Sales View, and then there's a job in SmartBuild. Now,
let me add one thing there, Normal. Sure. For those of you who are not using Idea Room, When you get access to Idea Room, you'll get access to what's called Sales View. Salesview.idearoom.com is your login window for Idea Room. From that window, you have a very loose CRM styling. You're going to have customer name, email, phone number, their city, their state. You'll be able to map out statuses in a column. You'll also be able to pull up their designs in real time. So it works almost as a curated customer list. And what I can tell you is alongside of SmartBuild, this is a very valuable tool to have, especially for those of our smaller friends that don't have access to a fully functional CRM. This is going to give you a lot of the things that you need to be very dangerous, because it'll let you categorize customers. It'll let you search customers by build date and all these different things, and you can start to keep better organization of your leads. What I really like about it is you can add leads directly into it and make your builds directly from there as well, which I like a lot. So go ahead, Norma. Sorry to interrupt.
All right. Thanks, Jared. No problem. So one of the things when we initially released the SmartBuild integration, obviously SmartBuild does a great job, materialist, pricing, detail, right? So in Idea Room configurator, we didn't want to have to replicate the pricing, right? Because that's really done in SmartBuild. So what we listened to our customers and got some feedback, and they said, all we need is really just to show the totals from the job in SmartBuild, so we, get an idea, because this is what you send to the customer initially, right? So that they could get an idea of this is how much it costs, et cetera. And Jared's laughing or smiling.
I'm smiling because this is a big deal. This is a big deal right here. Yeah.
And I think this is a surprise for Jared as well, right, Jared?
It is. I am seeing this for the very first time. So when you guys hear this, I'm telling you, when this is a peek behind the curtain, I tell you guys, I'm going to bring you the content, right? I'm going to bring you the biggest news. This is big news. Okay. This is a huge deal for those of you that are in my situation. This is a huge game-changing move. Okay. This is absolutely a game-changing move from every single perspective to get a price, a working price, even if it's a rough one. Okay. Normally that's what we want, is a rough price to quote with. Hey, just spitball something out. I can't tell you how many times I've heard somebody say, well, just give me a rough price. Give me a rough price. I don't have a single clue. Let me take 35 minutes to build it for you. Now, is it going to take 35 seconds after I hit submit for quote? Something
Basically,
like that.
yes.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. That's news.
All right. So Jared, hold on to your seat, Jared. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna sit right here.
Okay. All right. So you have the option, right, to turn this on or off, to say, I want to pull the job from SmartBuild. So once you do that, we show it here in Sales View. And then the other cool part is you might make edits in the job, right? Remove a door, remove a lien, whatever it is. You can then manually initiate to update, go back, check the job, and give me the latest current price to find a way to keep those in sync, right?
Oh goodness. So we're actually handshaking and then re-handshaking. So we've actually got a continuous current here between Idea Room and SmartBuild. That's something that's new, right? That's a brand new feature. That is like we have finished the circle of life, and we are now living and breathing together. We are sharing oxygen, and I'm telling you. So what you guys have just heard in reality, okay? Your customer goes onto your website or onto your 3D design tool with Idea Room. They're on their smartphone. They've got a great presentation. They've filled out and they've built a wraparound building. Now you can make edits in SmartBuild and go back to Idea Room and hit update, get that building updated as you make changes on the SmartBuild side. That is a powerful, powerful tool, because for somebody like me who utilizes a sales team, I've got a sales team of men and women up front who work for me that can build pole barns and send them to my SmartBuild guy who does nothing but SmartBuild all day. He works on SmartBuild. He knows it inside and out, and he can get things back together, and then they can hit update on their side and they can pick right back up where my guy left off. So now we've made changes on the opposite side. Maybe we needed to add some additional bracing. Maybe we needed to add some things structurally or make a change to a door. Maybe there's something that the customer wants to do that we just, maybe my sales reps aren't smart enough up front. That's just the truth of it. Okay. To build a pole barn is a completely different animal than doing a steel building or a shed. No offense to you if you do steel buildings and sheds. I know that takes skill too. But doing a pole barn is a totally different animal, okay? What I can tell you is I have one guy who handles most of my SmartBuild work. I do a lot of it too. But I can tell you this, the pricing and the real-time updating, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I can't applaud you guys enough because I've been watching you guys build this stuff for the last 8-9 months. I'm blown away, honestly. It's impressive.
Let me add one more element to it, which is we're now getting the price. You can update after you make changes in SmartBuild. Even last week, Sales View went out where the sales dashboard, the lead generation, all of that is now mobile compatible as well. So if you're a salesperson moving around and you want to bring up Sales View on your phone, all of this is now optimized for mobile, so you can access it as a salesperson on the go very naturally and smoothly, including things like, click to call, click to text, things like that. So tying it all together, I think we talked a little last time about adding a lot more sales tools in Idea Room. And as Norma mentioned, this stuff went out last week. We're doing releases pretty much every week or two. So keep an eye on it because we also publish release notes where you can see all the updates as they come in.
I can tell you guys, I can just tell you, for everyone who's listening or watching this, if you are working with SmartBuild and not working with Idea Room, you have got to give me a phone call or shoot me an email. I will do a personal demo for you. I will show you how this thing can revolutionize and transform your business. You can literally take yourself to the next level with a phone call. Honestly, this is, and let me just say this, Dan and I have been working behind the scenes now for 6 or 7 months, something like that. And they take feedback. Okay, Dan, you do a really good job of taking feedback from people. And I know that I'm a high level user, right? But I can tell you, even when I wasn't, you guys took feedback from me. And I can tell you want feedback from your customers. And I value that as someone who's used the product for a long time and watch it grow. I have watched it grow from the simplest of things, even though it's way bigger deal than simple. It was never simple. But you guys have graduated this 3D configurator into an absolute lead gen monster. It is the best in the business, in my opinion, bar none. And these changes here take it to a totally different level, just so we're clear. Like, unbelievable.
If you heard it, what Norma was saying, we did this due to customer feedback and input. Mm-hmm. So even if you're a current Idea Room customer, yes, I'll make another pitch to come to the NFBA and see us at the booth. Norma is fantastic. She's running the product team working on this. She wants all the ideas and input. So if you want some influence, she's one of the best people I've ever worked with. Come talk to her. She wants to hear it. As you can see, we respond to the feedback and add capabilities. It's really important to us. So yeah, come talk to us.
I love it. Norma, do you have anything for us on the end? I feel like we got to leave them with a teaser for the NFBA conference. We're at our 45-minute mark, and we've had a couple of technical issues, but we want to leave them with a teaser because I can tell you, we're going to have you back. We've got some really exciting stuff coming your way on the podcast front, Steel Kings and otherwise, and we'll break that down over time. But I can tell you, Norma, it's been a real pleasure to have you on here explaining this to us. Do you have anything for us on the way out?
Yes, Jared, and thank you for having me. This was super fun. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. We didn't have time to go through interior walls, divider walls, partition walls, mezzanines with stairs, railings, right? I can showcase all of that at the NFBA. If anybody is interested in seeing how they work, getting them set up, I'll be there to help answer any questions. But those in those interior walls, we divide them into rooms, right? You put an interior wall, it gets divided into a room. You could put carpet, flooring, one room, not in the second room, put a ceiling. So you can really start to kind of build those barndominiums, as you mentioned earlier, Jared. So
Working with
those
the
are
right
exciting.
partners. Working with the right partners makes barndominiums not feel like such a problem. So go back and listen to Mrs. Postframe. We talked about barndominiums at length. Is it worth your time? There's going to be some different expos, some different breakout sessions at the expo, talking about things like barndominiums. Idea Room's a perfect tool to have alongside of that. Okay, if you're not utilizing it, get with it. Get with it right now. Dan, do you have anything for us on the way out, man? I'm going to bring back in our screen share here, but do you have anything for us on the way out, brother?
Well, more to come for sure. You've seen stuff like right fresh off the press, but we're releasing very frequently, more capabilities to come. Very big focus on basically dominating the post-frame building industry with these integrated tools. And like I said, adding more sales tools for the salespeople to make them successful at selling those buildings.
Right.
So we'll be back again and we'll talk about more.
That's right.
And yeah, happy to be here and come see us at the NFPA. And yeah, Norma will surprise you and excite you with more things very soon.
So let me tell you this, guys, on the way out. Thank you to Idea Room for being on the episode today. Dan and Norma, it was great having you on. Like they said, come visit us at the trade booths at the NFPA Expo at the end of February, the 25th, the 26th, and the 27th. We will be there talking all things 3D configurators, podcasts, and everything in all the above. Thank you to J Money, Defined SEO, Velocity 360, Cal, our partners at the Shed Geek podcast. Thank you, as always, for giving us the platform. I can tell you guys, so looking forward to seeing you guys at the Trade Expo at the end of the month. We are so looking forward to it. In the meantime, for Dan and Norma, I'm Jared. I'm the Steel Kings, and I am out of here for this week. Get out in your community and do something good for somebody else. I promise you, in the world we live in these days, it'll make you feel better. And we will see you next time for another episode of the Steel Kings podcast. Steel Nation, thank you for tuning in to the Steel Kings podcast. If that episode fired you up, make sure you hit subscribe, leave a review, and share this with someone who is ready to level up. We drop powerful episodes every week filled with strategies, stories, and real talk from the builders shaping the industry. Stay hungry, stay focused, and keep building stronger. Make sure to visit us at thesteelkings.com for more resources and industry tools. This is the Steel Kings podcast, where the industry talks back. See you in the next one.
Before you go, the J Money team wants to thank you for listening to today's Steel Kings podcast. Remember, money is king, and if you need a financing option on your portable wood sheds or steel buildings, we are here to help. Just check us out at jmoneyllc.com for more information, and don't forget to catch the next episode of the Steel Kings podcast, and have a great day.